What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. We are continuing to use Chirayu Gupta's team that made it all the way to top 8 at Milwaukee. We had a lot of fun with it yesterday, using some stabilized shenanigans, so hopefully we can get some cool videos in today. Also, definitely make sure to subscribe. We are working our way towards 1 billion subscribers, and I really can't get there without your help. So looking at my opponent's first team, it is Zacian, Kyogre, Rillaboom, Thundurus with Shedinja, as well as a Meowstic. So that Meowstic is a little bit scary, being able to swap around Prankster. Reshiram is really nice here because of the fact that it can answer Shed, but we do have to be worried about Sableye. So I do really like Reshiram Sableye as a lead. I think we definitely want Zacian here, and then the question is, what do we want is the last slot, right? Right now we only have 2 things that can hit Shed, which is a good amount, but like Sableye really sort of is playing that sort of, or like it might get knocked out soon. Venusaur could be helpful here for a couple things. It's a good question of what I want in the last slot. I'm gonna bring Landorus. I'm gonna bring Venusaur. I'm not 100% sure with this decision, but sometimes that comes with playing a new team. So we'll see how it works out. Definitely hoping for the win, because that'll put us back into Ultra Ball, just because I haven't had a ton of time to kind of ladder on my own. So we'll see how things work out. So we are going to see a lead of Thundurus, Meowstic. I don't know what's going to happen here. All I know is I want to burn that Thundurus. I'm going to go for a Rockfall and a Will-O-Wisp. I think that that's fine for now. Like I said, I am worried about what that Meowstic wants to do. I probably should not have maxed because it can very easily go for a yawn. So, you know, that's always definitely sort of an unfortunate scenario to be worried about. But I think if we can get good damage onto the Thundurus and burn it, I might be potentially okay with giving up my max for that. But I really don't want to let this Meowstic kind of run wild. And we'll kind of see, like I said, how we want to proceed after this turn. Yeah, there is, though, definitely a lot to consider, and obviously the yawn is a little scary, so we could have played it a little bit safer and just gone for just a normal move instead of max. But I think it'll still be fine. We'll kind of see like how it plays out. We are going to see just a light screen. So light screen is totally fine, right? Like that says you're not yawning. That says we can at least get multiple turns out of our max. Will-O-Wisp is going to connect here, which is huge, right? We're going to severely neutralize how much damage that Thundurus can do. Oh, Lumberry. Okay. Never mind. Airstream going to come out into the Sableye. Sableye is going to go down to its... Oh, God. I was going to say it's going to go down to its Focus Sash, but because we went for the Rockfall, we're unfortunately going to lose Sableye here, which is a really big deal, right? Like we are... down our really our main sort of support option, but I think that that's fine, right? At this point, Thundurus hopefully is in range of a Behemoth Blade, so we can go for that. But yeah, the crit really sort of unfortunate here, right? It means that we are going to lose our Sableye, which no one ever really wants. That burn would have been huge the next turn, but it is sort of fine. We can play around with that. I'm going to bring out Zacian here. I think we can go for, what's it called? We can go for a, I wonder if Dragon actually at this rate, let me think, what will do more between Dragon, Max Rockfall, so that's going to be 220 versus this, which is 210. Okay, I'm going to go for a Quake onto you, and I'm going to go for the Behemoth Blade onto the Thundurus. Just hoping that we can get enough damage to survive. We are going to see, yeah, most likely a Reflect, which means unfortunately we are not going to be able to survive, or not survive, we're not going to be able to KO. But they're just going for an Airstream, which, yeah, Reshiram is going to take that very well because of the fact that, like, non or Life Orb Thunderous doesn't really hit super hard, and so what we can really sort of do is set up for an endgame, right? Like I want to make it so we have a very bulky Zacian to better deal with their incoming Zacian. That looks like a crit. That's not a crit. That is just okay. That is okay. We are adamant max attack, so like fair. We are going to be able to fire off a big Quake boost here. Trying to get our defenses up a little bit. We are Assault Vest, so we should have a very good matchup into an incoming Ogre, especially because of the fact that it will not be max. So overall, I'm feeling very good about this position. Oh, I was going to say, interesting to see the Meowstic is faster, but then I remembered Zacian isn't affected by Sandstorm. So ignore me on that one. We are going to see what's going to come out here. It is going to be Whale. So I'm going to Quake it just to sort of get some... yeah, I'm going to go for a Quake to really sort of reduce how much damage it can do, and then go for a Protect here. What I want to do is set up a position where we can Brick Break the screens, right? Like, I don't think they're going to expect that on my Zacian, so that really is going to come in handy here, but I want to try and get as much damage as possible, as we are going to see Charm. So Charm, I think, is a cool tech, but if we can get Reshiram really in a strong position for this endgame, right, I think it's going to be fine. We are going to do just a little bit, so that really suggests to me that you are the Assault Vest Kyogre, so, right, like a little bit scary for sure, but we are going to see, okay, so they are going to go just straight for the Origin Pulse. I think that makes sense to play it safe. Reshiram is going to avoid, so that is really nice on our end. I do want to at least try and pressure this Meowstic at this point, right? So I'm going to go for... I could go for the Ancient Power for the boosts. I don't want to go for the Draco Meteor. I'm going to go for the Ancient Power and just try and get the boost. And then as well as I'm going to Brick Break into this Kyogre, just trying to get rid of the screens and make it so I can go for a Play Rough. We are going to see the Charm unfortunately come out, so that is going to drop our attack 2 stages? Yep, 2 stages. But taking advantage of the fact that we get through the screens, right, that's going to be huge. Firing off this Ancient Power into this Meowstic, just doing a little bit as the Origin Pulse is going to come out. We are at +2, so we should take this reasonably well on Zacian, as yeah, we're gonna take that very comfortably. I'm once again going to go for the Ancient Power here, and then I'm going to Play Rough the Ogre. I'm hoping that we can do enough to it that it'll sort of like, right, like you have to make some choices here of what you go for. Like, if you set up another screen knowing I can just Brick Break it. So really trying to set up this end game, as we are going to see the Yawn. I think that that's a really smart play into the Reshiram. I think that is a really good choice overall. Basically what you're saying is, hey, you have to now choose, right? Like, you either leave in this drop Zacian or you switch out the Reshiram. We are going to luckily get the knockout onto Meowstic. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the boost, as Origin Pulse is going to come out here and do a decent chunk on a both. There's a lot on the both. We are going to see Zacian in the back come out here. So really the big question now is, how do we proceed? So what I think I want to do is I want to switch out Reshiram into Venusaur and Protect. So I'm gonna switch into Venusaur, and I'm gonna go for the Protect with Zacian. I'm hoping that Venusaur can live a turn. That lets me threaten a Sleep Powder, as well as swap Zacian into Reshiram to reset the drop. So we're trying to kind of pivot this interestingly. Also, if we can get rid of the Rain, right, like that'll really sort of help with the damage that this Kyogre is going to do. I don't expect to see a Behemoth Blade. Yeah, we are going to see just a straight Play Rough into the Venusaur. That did way more than I would have liked, as the Origin Pulse is going to come out here. The question really now is, how much is Venusaur going to take, right? We're going to see Venusaur... 4. Okay, 4 is more than 0. I would like to go for a Leaf Storm onto the Ogre and then swap into the Reshiram. Right, this is kind of an awkward position, because what's going to happen, what happens now is it really comes down to what is targeted. I'm hoping that if you target into my Zacian slot, with your Zacian, right? We can set up an endgame where we can sleep powder and go for a Behemoth Blade into your Zacian, right? And then make it, yeah, so we kind of have to set up for a little bit of an awkward endgame, but I don't think it's necessarily unwinnable. We are going to see a Behemoth Blade come out. This could go into, this looks like it's going to go into the Reshiram slot. Perfect. I hope we unfortunately don't take that. I was really hoping that we could live that. We are going to be able, though, to fire off the Leaf Storm, which is a really big deal, right? Like, we are going to get rid of the Ogre. It is unfortunate, though, that we are going to be at -2. I think, though, we do have to play now this this tricky game of, oh, we're Life Orb. I forgot about Life Orb. Okay, so that obviously changes plans. So now we need to be faster and we need to crit them. That really is sort of our only out. We are a fairly fast Zacian, so hoping for that. But yeah, we'll kind of see. The crit turn 1, though, was a huge deal, right? Like, losing Sableye so early really made things unfortunate. But it looks like, yeah, so they are going to unfortunately be faster, and it looks like we aren't going to win this first one, which, I mean, it happens. That crit, like I said, was very unfortunate. It did make it so we weren't able to maintain pressure with Sableye throughout the game. Also, there was a question of if Venusaur was the best choice. I think Landorus, knowing what I mean, obviously knowing what I know now, Landorus would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. I think that just is part of playing the game, and yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Zacian Yveltal, but it is Sneasel, Zacian, Cinderace, Manectric, Gastrodon, and Yveltal. I like Reshiram a lot. Reshiram Landorus feels really good. I mean, Reshiram Venusaur actually feels really good here. Reshiram Landorus also feels good here. I think that's important. I want Venusaur and Zacian. I think that's probably our best bet, right? I'm gonna stick with this. I feel like you are weakness policy Yveltal, given the fact that we see a Sneasel. Yeah, that's a Sneasel. So I'm expecting Ice Shard into a, what's it called? Yeah, Ice Shard into Yveltal, probably an Airstream. So a little bit of a tricky position, as yeah, we are going to see Sneasel Yveltal. This 100% suggests to me that you are going to be a weakness policy variant. I don't know if Landorus can live a +2 max darkness. We have no bulk, so that really does not help. I think you so I think you have to Airstream in this position because of the fact that I have Zacian in the back. So I want to go for this, right, with the idea that if you target Reshiram, that does let us get in a better position for this endgame, right? I don't think you're gonna do. There is no max. There is no max. That's a little bit scary, to say the least. Or it means that you're just very slow Yveltal, which I don't really see being the case. You could, I don't know. We're gonna see a fake out come out. Okay, fake out onto the Landorus. That's fine with me. Yveltal gonna go for a okay. Tailwind is not the end of the world. We are gonna be able to fire off this Rockfall, get massive damage onto this Yveltal, and more importantly, we're gonna break the Sneasel's Focus Sash. So unfortunately, yeah, we are not going to what's it called? We're unfortunately not going to get the boost we wanted, but we're still gonna get rid of the Sash. So I think what we do now is I'm gonna flare the Yveltal because of the I'm gonna flare it. I'm still worried about the weakness policy. I want to go for a Rock Slide here. The flare also means that Venusaur gets the its Focus Sash intact, and also we hit harder with Reshiram. So I think making that decision can pay off for us, right? We still have to worry about some other stuff. I think, right, if they have Gastron in the back, being able to have Venusaur with... Oh, wait, this is Life Orb Venusaur. Either way, the speed boost on Venusaur is important. It is not actually Sash, because that is on the Sableye. I'm getting my teams mixed up, but it's fine. But yeah, so I think that this position really sort of will help us, right? Like, we are going to threaten the Rock Slide if you let my... Oh, okay, and you... Okay, cool, you missed the Icicle Crash. Like, I'm very okay with that. We're going to see the Oblivion Wing come out onto the Landorus, I'm expecting. Yeah, so onto Landorus. Landorus lives, which, I mean, is great, but Yveltal is going to shoot right back up to almost full. We are going to miss the Rock Slide on the Yveltal, ironically. But if we KO the Sneasel here, which we do, that's perfect, right? We're going to be able to fire off a big Max Flare onto this Yveltal, which should be enough for a knockout. So that's going to be really huge, right? Like, if you have Zacian in the back, we can force Intimidate cycling with Landorus. So we can really do that because, right, like, Venusaur, while nice, I don't really see it doing too much here. Unless there's, I mean, if there's Gastrodon in the back, that's one thing. But other than that, right, I think it totally makes sense just to pressure with Reshiram and then go for cycling, as we are going to see a Manectric here. So Manectric probably going to be the max option of choice. As no Zacian, it's just going to be a Cinderace. So I am going to Wormwind here and then swap into Venusaur, just with the idea that we can just really crush this Cinderace's attack stat, because that's probably going to be the main max option. And if we lose Venusaur, right, like, that's perfect. We get a free switch right back into our Landorus, which is what we want. We get that Intimidate cycling, and we can really put on pressure that way. We can also then potentially, like, switch out to Zacian with the idea of Reshiram just cleaning up and getting a third sort of attack drop, but it really will depend. But I can't see a world in which Cinderace is able to pick up 3 knockouts, or pick up all the knockouts. It can go for Knuckle, but if it goes for Knuckle, right, like, we can still cycle out pretty well. We also are bringing out Venusaur, which will have potential chance to go for some big damage. I just need to check what Venusaur this is, because this is, yeah, so this Venusaur does have Protect, right? So if you go for, like, I don't know, a Knuckle, for example, into Landorus, we do have the ability to Protect and try and stall out the Tailwind, because if we can also put your Cinderace to sleep, like, that also changes the dynamic of the match pretty drastically. We are going to see Snarl, so that definitely is some cool tech to see. It does make things a little bit tricky, right, because now Reshiram's damage is a little bit hampered, but at the same time, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. We are going to see the Darkness come out, right, so that pretty cool there. I don't know if it's going to be targeting into it isn't going to be in the Venusaur slot, so I'm fine to lose Venusaur here, right, because of the fact that we are going to be able to get the attack down by 1. We also can bring out Landorus to get the attack down by 2. It is sort of unfortunate, though, that we are taking that crit on Venusaur. I don't know if it mattered too much. Probably not. Is that Focus Sash, or is that just... okay, it is Focus Sash on the Manectric, so that's totally fine, right? We are going to be able to then switch into Landorus as we get the second attack drop onto the Cinderace. The big question now is, do we go for a switch into Zacian, or do we stay in? And I think it's worth going for the switch out into Zacian. So I think, right, we can KO this what's it called? This Manectric with an Earth Power. Actually, let's go for an Ancient Power for the boost, and then swap in. There's one turn of Tailwind left, right? I think it's worth just going. I'm going to switch into Zacian, right? Because my thought process, right, is you want to go for an Airstream, expecting Zacian to be in the back and saying, hey, I'm going to outspeed you and then hit you with Pyro Ball. So I want to make it so Zacian comes in. In the absolute worst case, you Pyro Ball the slot trying to be safe. I don't think that that's a risk you should make, but at the same time, I'm not my opponent. Also, I do feel very strong about Reshiram. My opponent is going to make a very good Protect here. We are going to see the Airstream. I thought that made the most sense. Just trying to, like I said, call the fact that I have Landorus or Zacian in the back. So you have into Zacian. Zacian's going to take not that much. We are going to be able to bring out Landorus one more time to get this Cinderace down to -3. So that's going to be really huge. I do expect to see a Pyro Ball come out. So I still want to, what's it called? I still want to Ancient Power into this slot, as well as swap back into Landorus. I think it still will be a little bit tricky, but I think the sun should be expiring soon. So that's going to reduce the amount of damage that Pyro Ball can do. So that's really going to work in our favor. So yeah, I think we're really setting up for a strong end game. And if we obviously get the boost onto Reshiram, right, like that is going to make a huge difference. You could go for a Max Knuckle, right, saying, hey, I'll only be at -2, which I think is fine, right? We can then just kind of stall out things. I think you do have to go for a, what's it called? What I could have actually done, that would have actually been really smart, is I switch Landorus in for Reshiram and protect Zacian, but I don't want Zacian to take unnecessary damage. And this way, right, I can fire off an Intimidate slot, or another Intimidate, because you really are ignoring the Reshiram, saying, hey, you're at -1 attack, or special attack, like, what are you doing? Probably going to get it to -2 using another Snarl, as we're going to see an Overheat come out. So I think, interesting choice, right? Really just trying to, you're lowering your own special attack, but I think it is fine here. We should see probably a Darkness. Okay, so another Darkness going to come out onto this Reshiram. We should take it as a result of you being at -3, right? Yeah, we're going to take absolutely nothing from that. We're going to be able to pick up a knockout onto this Manectric, and then from there, I think we can stall out the Sun with a Protect, and then make it so the damage from this Cinderace, right, is going to be really reduced, and then we can just put on immediate pressure that way. So bring out Zacian here. Wait for, is there even Sun Up? There is Sun Up, right? Have I just been like playing around something that isn't even there? That also is possible. So let's quickly check that, because that's gonna make a difference. The Cinderace does have a speed boost, so a little bit scary there. It also looks like it might not have high jump kick, right? Okay, yeah. So there is a turn of Sunlight left. I honestly think Ancient Power is fine, as well as a Protect here, just because of the fact that it does cover for any sort of switch. It could, if you high jump kick, you high jump kick, but I don't. Okay, so we are going to see the Pyro Ball come out, right? So that's perfect. You are going to change into a Fire type into the Zacian, as we are going to be able to fire off an Ancient Power, which is going to be super effective. We could have played the Earth Power, but because of the bounce, I mean, if they had bounced it, it really wouldn't have mattered. And at this point, right, we do have the ability to fire off another Ancient Power with no fear, as well as I'm going to say Brick Break. I think it's neutral enough damage regardless of what my opponent wants to go for, as we are going to see the Pyro Ball. This is going to be -3, so I do expect to take it fairly. Whoa, okay, that explains it. Okay, it's still fine, right? Like we have Reshiram, and this Ancient Power from what we saw the last time should be enough for the KO. So, right, we are going to, yeah, so we are going to pick up the knockout. Not the way I would have liked it, but we got there. That crit definitely was a little bit unfortunate, but I do think the cycling of the Intimidate with Landorus was really good. And we, like I said, we had the ability to potentially switch between both Landorus and Reshiram, but it ended up being the same. So overall, I think a really solid battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is a Reshiram battle. It is Reshiram, Calyrex Ice, Porygon 2, Rillaboom, Ensign, and Shroom. Sableye doesn't have Taunt, right? No, but Thundurus does. That Shroom is a problem. I'm gonna bring Reshiram, Sableye as a lead. I think I want Zacian. Landorus is tempting. Thundurus is tempting. Thundurus is tempting because it has Taunt. But I could also lead Thundurus if I think that's the case. So I'm going to lead Thundurus, Reshiram with Zacian and Sableye. I think that's fine. The risk we do take here is if Amoonguss is Focus Sash, which it very well could be, right? Like we could see an Amoonguss lead with a Fake Out user. But if that's the case, it's not necessarily terrible. So okay, so we're gonna see Porygon 2 Calyrex. Oh, I brought Thundurus. I can Dragon. I'm gonna Dragon into Calyrex. That's funny. You probably are Eerie Impulse. So what I want to do is I'm gonna Wormwind the Calyrex, and I'm gonna taunt the Porygon 2. This way, it stops a Eerie Impulse onto my Reshiram, which is what I'm really afraid of. I might have to sacrifice my my Thundurus, but I'm okay with that trade because of the fact that I do have Sableye, which can burn the Calyrex, and being able to taunt the P2 I think is going to be huge. So we are committing a little bit early. Thunder is obviously going to be very nice to have in the end game, right? Especially if there's a Reshiram, being able to Eerie Impulse that. As we are going to see just a straight max here come out from Calyrex. So this could be a max guard into a Trick Room. Yeah, so we are going to see the Calyrex come out. This suggests to me that you might be going for that, which like is fine, right? Like, it is what it is. We are going to see the max guard. I think, yep, that's a good call. That's going to let us taunt into this Porygon 2. That stops not only an Eerie Impulse, that also stops a Trick Room. So that puts us in a really good spot. We are going to go for the Wormwind. Unfortunately, it's going to hit into this Calyrex, and we're going to see, yeah, no Trick Room coming out here. So fine to fire off a Wormwind here and then swap into Sableye. Then I think with the damage reduction, we can go for a Sunny Day into a Flare, and that combination should hopefully be enough to pick up a knockout. We do want to see how much we take from this incoming Max Quake. We could, if need be, go for a Will-O-Wisp as well, as we are going to see the Porygon switch out. So Incineroar going to come out. That's totally fine with me, right? You're just trying to set up for a better endgame, but Sableye obviously not going to really care here. So that is going to be really good for us, as this Dragon should hopefully do a good amount into this Calyrex. It is going to do... It's a nice chunk. I think a Sunny Day boosted Flare, given how much that did, should be enough for a knockout. As we are going to see a Hailstorm. So Hailstorm going to come out into the Thundurus slot. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Sableye, I'm hoping Perfect is able to live thanks to, that boost. So now we do have the position where we can go for a Sunny Day into... okay, let's think about this. Do I think I'm going to actually Wormwind into the Incin slot, and I'm going to swap into Zacian. It's a little bit of an awkward switch, but I could see a Max Guard come out from this Calyrex, right? Just trying to deal with the Sableye. I don't expect to see a Quake into this. Like, I couldn't see a Quake into the slot. There is a chance, though, of a Flare Blitz, but I think at -2 attack, we should hopefully be able to take it, as we are going to be able to just fire off some big damage, or we're just going to one-shot the Zacian, or the Incin. Okay, so the crit definitely, we're going to say it didn't matter because I don't want it to matter. Calyrex at this point is going to be at -2, and its max is going to be over. So we are going to see the Quake unfortunately come out. This is probably into Reshiram. Yep, it's going to be into Reshiram. Reshiram, yep, as a result of all the boosts, is going to be able to take things very well. The issue now is, the main issue now, right, is you can bring out Porygon. You have the option to go for a potential trick into, or protect into Trick Room. But even then, right, like, you're at -2, so I don't really know what you're going to do. We are going to get you, yeah, you're going to get your Turbo Blaze again. But with Zacian, yeah, with Zacian being at full health and Calyrex being at -2, I feel very confident in us being able to live a high horsepower. So I really want to Blue Flare into the Porygon slot, as well as Behemoth Blade into it, just with the idea, like, let's just do the most amount of damage possible. Calyrex, I very well could see switching out into a Reshiram as well. So there are a lot of options. We do have 2 support Pokemon in the back, which really are going to be able to help in this endgame, right? Like I said, I can't see Calyrex picking up a knockout. We're going to actually see no Protect here. So that would have been a free shot into Calyrex, which unfortunately we're going to miss out on. We are going to be able to, though, connect with this Blue Flare. Perfect into the Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is going to go down. So even if you set up a Trick Room, right, like at this point, you are stuck with a -2 Calyrex, which isn't even going for, what's it called? A Trick Room, right? So we are going to be able to survive that, as we should see, like I said, a Reshiram come out from my opponent in the back. Your Calyrex now is stuck at -2. And we can sort of, yeah, we're going to see the Reshiram come out here. We can go for a Draco Meteor into yours and then kind of play around that way. So I'm going to fire off a Draco Meteor here, as well as a Behemoth Blade into this Calyrex. We are sort of, I guess, playing a little bit dangerously. We are potentially risking losing our Zacian, but I don't think that that's the end of the world, right? We can then bring out Thundurus to fire off Eerie Impulses and yeah, kind of go around that way. We do have ways of dealing with the Calyrex, so I think it's fine. We could see a Protect, but I don't know if this Calyrex has Protect. Okay, so it does have Protect. So that answers that question. So unfortunate, we are going to lose Calyrex here. We're going to see the Blue Flare going to come out. There's no chance of Zacian surviving that. Let's see how much this Draco Meteor does into... okay, so you are Life Orb. We are going to connect the Draco Meteor. It is going to be just a little bit tricky, though, the fact that we are at -2 as... Okay. Or we we one-shot the Calyrex, or the Reshiram. We are going to take an attack drop, though, which is unfortunate. The Calyrex did just Protect, so we do have the ability to go for a Will-O-Wisp with Sableye. And I think if we can get the Will-O-Wisp off, right, like, even if you get the attack boost, it should be fine. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp here, right? Like, you are too low for me to realistically want to foul play. My opponent could come back from this. I think a Glacial... I don't even think a Glacial Lance will KO Thundurus. We are going to see the Protect fail, so that is actually going to be really huge for us, right? Like, we can connect with this Will-O-Wisp onto this Calyrex, and at this point we can go for a Thunderbolt onto it, as well as a what's it called, a foul play. And I feel like I don't want to foul play. Like I said, I am worried about the Trick Room, or not the Trick Room, the weakness policy. So I'm actually just going to set up a Sunny Day with the idea that if push comes to shove, right, like I can bring out Reshiram and go for a boosted Blue Flare with no real worry about anything. But given that this Calyrex is at -2 with a burn, right, like what is it really doing? Thunderbolt is going to come out here, going to connect, doing not a lot of damage, but yeah, we are worried about the Glacial Lance. But yeah, Thundurus taking that super well. They are going to get a boost, so that does make it a little bit tricky, because we are now certainly playing with hitting Blue Flares. I mean, Calyrex is so low. I'm like, is it worth going for a Blue Flare, or is it worth... Yeah, that's the thing. I can't really afford to like get it wrong in terms of... Yeah, we're going to go for a Thunderbolt here, as well as Blue Flare's accuracy is 85. This is gonna be 120. I mean, this is just... I don't think I need to go for... I don't think I need to go for a Blue Flare, right? Like, yeah, between this and the Ancient Power, right? Like, we should get it in a knockout range. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so no need to risk it on a Blue Flare, which definitely was my concern. I do want to see, though, if we can see our opponent's team, because I definitely would love to know what item they have, right? Like, it makes such a difference when it comes to playing the Reshiram and also like the Calyrex. But okay, so we're not going to see it. But overall, this seems awesome. A huge shout out once again to Chirayu Gupta for the team. Definitely make sure to check out their stuff. They stream and do some awesome stuff. We will be using some cool teams next time, so look forward to that. And yeah, with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.